Hi again, everybody. It's Chuck from 99volts.com, and today I'm going to go through my version of the elephant sound on guitar, which is actually, I copied directly from Eddie Van Halen's version that I learned back in the 80s. I've noticed this particular little trick is getting popular again. Herman Lee from Dragon Force does it, and I've seen a few guys on the internet doing it. The difference is that the version I do, which back in the good old days, way before the internet and all this stuff, back in, I think this was 82 when I learned this trick. If you wanted to get any videos of Eddie or any guitar players you wanted back then, you basically had to get in the guitar magazines and order bootlegs, which is how I figured out this particular trick. There was a backstage video of Edward from, I believe the tape was 1980 actually, from their tour, and showed Ed kind of warming up and playing around backstage, and he did that elephant trunk sound, and I couldn't believe it when he did it. So I sat there and I poured over that tape for hours and hours and hours until I could copy it exactly. The only difference I've seen in the transcriptions of it now is one fret difference on one string, and I'll show you that when I do it. The way I've seen it demonstrated is you play the harmonic. It's all harmonics. You're playing 3 harmonics on 3 different strings with the volume off on the guitar. Play the harmonics, let them ring, and then you depress the whammy bar and turn up the guitar volume at the same time as you're raising the pitch on the whammy bar, and it simulates the sound of an elephant making his noise with his trunk. The transcriptions I've seen recently are you play the harmonic at the G string 5th fret, the B string 7th fret, and the E string, the high E string, the 12th fret. The difference is that on the G string, it should actually, the harmonic should be played at the 4th fret rather than the 5th fret. It's not a big difference. The 5, 7, 12 method works fine. It sounds good, but there is a slight difference when you play the other harmonic on the G string at the 4th fret. As it, I don't know, it sounds more realistic. There's a little bit higher pitch, and I'll show you that when I do it. Also, one thing that I've done over the years, back then I didn't have a volume pedal, and neither did Eddie when I saw him doing the trick. He actually would, he raises his guitar volume while he raises the pitch on the Floyd bar. It works much better if you can use a volume pedal. The reason being is your guitar is already at full volume. That's one thing. Number 2, you don't have to switch hands, because when you play the harmonics with your left hand, you have to reach over then and raise the whammy bar while you turn the volume pedal with your right hand. That's when you do the one on the guitar. Whenever you do the one with the volume pedal, basically you pick with your left hand, and your volume's already up. You're making it, you have your volume pedal released so it doesn't make the sound. So all you're doing basically is raising your whammy bar with your right hand and pressing your pedal with your foot. It makes it much easier. There's no overtones produced when you're hitting your guitar trying to switch hands. So it's much cleaner if you can use a volume pedal. If you can't, I'll show you both ways. Alright, let's take a look at it. Alright, gonna need a couple things to do this trick. First of all, obviously a guitar with a whammy bar on it. It doesn't have to be a Floyd. All you're doing, you're depressing the tremolo bar before you're raising it to pitch with the bar depressed. So you don't have to have a floating bar. You could actually do this with a Strat bar if you wanted, that's flush against the body. In fact, Eddie does it with his Music Man guitar, and the Floyd is mounted flush against the body there, so you can't raise the pitch above the standard pitch. So just as long as it's got a whammy bar, and you're going to need an amp that can kick out a little bit of gain or distortion. I'm using my Fender Supersonic on this. I set the gain on the amp. It's not super saturated. I use my little secret weapon, my TC Electronic Tube Factor pedal. I guess it's a distortion pedal, but it's more of kind of a booster pedal than anything. And so here's what, and I use a little bit of echo also, just so that it kind of, it separates the notes a little bit and makes them kind of sound more authentic. But here's my guitar tone without the tube factor pedal. This is basically the distortioning I'm using from the amp. So see, it's not super overdriven. When I kick in the pedal, you're going to get a lot more distortion. See how the harmonics ring a lot better. Alright, first step. I'll do it the way it's been shown recently. So you're going to hit your harmonic at your G, 5th string, or your G, 5th fret, 3rd string. Then at the 2nd string, 7th fret, E string, 12th fret. Now the concept is you want to hit those, you're going to hit them all three with the volume off on your guitar, or if you're using the volume pedal, your volume will be up on your guitar and then you just raise your volume pedal. But the theory is you're going to hit all three and then raise your volume and raise your tremolo bar at the same time. Each guitar is different and each pickup's different, so it will make a difference how hard you pick each harmonic and how it rings, and it'll be different for everybody's guitar. I first learned this back on a Ibanez RG550 many moons ago with he had a DiMarzio Super Distortion pickup in it, and I could actually it sounded better than this guitar doing it, but I don't have that guitar anymore. But it's still, again, it's going to depend on your pickups and your guitar. So practice around, just try and get the feel for the notes, and you'll figure out which ones you're going to have to pick harder than the other ones. First we'll do it with the 5-7-12, and we're going to use the guitar's volume. It's harder doing it this way if you have a volume pedal. I'll show you that way too. Right. Here's what it sounds like this way. See how I started out with if I raised the pitch as I was raising the volume. So if I just played the notes and didn't depress the whammy bar, this is what it would sound like. So it's already at the high pitch. That's why you want to start with your whammy bar, push down, and then raise your guitar volume. So that was the 5-7-9 method. Here I'm going to pick. Here's the way I learned it, and which I think is the actual way everyone plays it. G string, 4th fret, harmonic. And these are the natural harmonics, I guess. I'm not actually fretting the note. I'm just barely placing my finger on the fret to produce the harmonics. Alright, so it's going to be the G string, 4th fret, B string, 7th fret, E string, 12th fret. See, to me it sounds a little bit better just because you're getting that higher frequency with the G string 4th fret. But again, it's a matter of taste. Okay, now let me do it with the volume pedal. Let me switch from volume. Alright, this time I'm going to show it to you with the volume pedal. I've got my guitar volume all the way cranked up already, so I'm basically going to use the volume pedal to raise and lower the volume. Using a Morley little alligator pedal. The advantage is, again, it's easier because you can already have your bar. You just pick and then raise your whammy bar, and you'll see the difference too. But since the guitar's volume is already all the way up, it's producing the best harmonic. Whenever you're raising the guitar volume, it's not as rich of a harmonic until you get your guitar volume all the way up, and it's hard to do that timing just right to get your guitar volume perfect as you raise the pitch on the bar. With the volume pedal, it's super easy. All you do is just press your foot down. So I'll show you. Here's the 5-7-9 method. I guess the Herman lead way. See, it sounds much better. Now here's the 4-7-12 method. See, just a little bit higher pitch on the high end, which kind of gives a little more dissonance and sounds more like an actual elephant noise.